tale, a champion prevailed, defeated the villain, now pour him some ale. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday here on Tales from the Grim. We're going to play some Witcher Family of Wraiths. We have a big one in store for you tonight, and me, as much as everyone else that's watching, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Of course, I have things ready in case I need to aid the story, but I'm going to sit back, let these wonderful players do what they do best, and that is weave a tale that we can all enjoy and we can all guess what the conclusion will be. But before we can go forward, we have to go back. Why are we here? Well, to tell a story. How can we be here? Because we have a fantastic sponsor in both Roll20 and in Artausorian Games. As you can see in chat, everybody, Artausorian Games has been kind enough to gift us with a PDF copy of the core rulebook of The Witcher. If you're interested in the system, and you should be because it's a fun read, regardless of your idea of mechanics or system, even if you're just a fan of The Witcher, read it. Check it out. It's great. So the giveaway is going on right now. Just go ahead and vote as you see it pop up. And our other sponsor is Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice. As you saw last week during our battle episode, and potentially this week, depending upon how everybody wanders, we will see exactly what our maps, our dynamic lighting, and everything that our virtual tabletop of choice can provide. Go right now to www.roll20.net/start/Tales from the Grim. Start your own free account right now. Gather your group together from across the land, north, south, east, and west. It doesn't matter how far you are away from a real table. The virtual tabletop is waiting for you to tell your stories. So whether it be on the continent, Dungeons and Dragons, Little Cthulhu, it's all there waiting for you to jump into. And I have to tell you what, their new dynamic lighting system that's available right now with the Pro account is fantastic. I was toying with it today, and our players will be toying with it very shortly. Not this episode, I don't think. Maybe, we'll see. It's very, very cool. But if you want to directly influence the tale that we are about to tell, and of course there is a three-legged stool here, myself, the players, and you, the Legion, all you need to do right now is, I'll put the retweet up in chat. If you retweet our going live tweet, as soon as we hit 20, 30, and 40, the characters will benefit positively from your spreading the word. If you would like to take a more direct approach, you may look straight down and you can see that there are several ways to influence the story, whether it be by aiding, how do you like that silver, adding +2 to all the rolls for everybody for the entirety of the session, or Winds Howling, which increases the difficulty level of this session. Any or everything that you can see there, and we do have one Trial of the Grasses left. If you would like to join our campaign, you may do so as a canonical character. We will see our first guest tonight as Hawk. KY Hawkeye joins us, and I will allow him to share his character whenever the time comes. But we have one of those left, so if you would like to join in, you would get yourself a solo flashback episode, and then you are part of the story, where you get at least one episode with the group, in all likelihood, more. So everyone, where are our players? Well, if they're being truthful with me, we are currently at the edge of the Blue Mountains, and the plan is to go to their very first true city, the city of Hengsforth. And it is in the north. It is cosmopolitan. It is high society, or at least it wants to be. It's not Novigrad, but it has plans. Whether or not it gets there, is it a boom town? Is it somewhere in between? We don't know, but it has aspirations of growth. And if that is in fact where we are heading, this will be the first time that our crew enters civilization on the continent. There can be an argument said for which is more deadly, the wilderness or civilization. But as we are prepared now to go into our story, knowing full well that the only thing that our party is looking for right now are the murderers of their friend Ezekon of Kreve. His death drew them all together. They have a lead. They had a battle. The battle was pitched. And the aftermath of that, I'm sure, will be felt tonight. But it's a hunt. Make no mistake. It's what witchers and loved ones do best. What fathers and friends... They can call it justice, they can call it revenge, but in the end, it's always just a hunt. Let's go over right now, before our players get to Hangsfor, let us go and meet someone new. Hawk, welcome to the show, my friend. We are in the city of Hangsfor here in the north, and before we get any further into this, as we, once again, from a raven's eye view, or a griffin's eye view, go through the clouds and we see our first large city. It is a bustling pseudo-metropolis. And as people go hither and yon, our griffin's eye view goes to the street level. There is a modest shop. And as we enter in through the door, we see... Who do we see, Hawk?
You see an older man. He's been here for quite a while. He likes to keep himself involved in all the things. It's this bustling. He's started his little merchant shop here as the town was first starting, and he's watched it grow. He's watched it prosper. He wants to make sure that it continues. So he's put his hands in what he's needed to help move those things along. He works well. He works well with the city guard, with those that are in the ruling class. The ruling classes, the aristocracy, what little we have at the moment in this wonderful little growing town. And I've made it kind of my specialty to make sure that people are taken care of. I'm not afraid to make a wild potion or two, not afraid to use contacts that I've created in my business as a humble merchant to be able to acquire things that people might want, that they might need, that they might desire, and a way to get it here in a good and timely manner and still make small profit.
A little profit, of course. Well, speaking of profit, speaking of the town, your door opens, a bell sounds with a ding ding, and your, let's just say your highest ranking employee, Pickens, comes in. An older man, bent. The years have not been unkind, but they have been present. They have been felt. They have been weathered upon his visage, his frame, his face. His clothing seems a bit large, as if once a larger man inhabited them. And as he walks in, he slowly closes the door behind him and allows the bar to drop, pinning the door to the frame. And as he turns, he looks at the large suit of armor that is sitting down beside the door, this massive 9-foot automaton. And as he glances at it, the suit moves just to regard him for a moment. He seems comfortable enough with it as he comes forward, placing his hat in his hand.
Boss, I found out that the student Sunrise will be here 2 days' time.
2 days. Good to know. we can be ready for all that has been laid before us. And be ready for, shall we say, our response to what is laid before us.
It's, my hands haven't been able to, I've been sweating. It's weird, it's sweaty hands, dry mouth. You think it'd be the other way around.
All is planned, all is prepared for. We have no reason to worry.
All right, well then.
Everyone does their role, everyone does their job properly, and all goes well.
No, the kids have told me a couple things, boss. There's, at the embassy, there's more of those tough-looking types going to see her. In and out at all hours. Middle of the night, middle of the day, early morning. No rhyme, no reason.
More of her mercenaries, no doubt.
I don't know. Trying to catch an eye myself, but they're, different. They're, shifty.
Of course.
Makes my palms sweat.
They don't want to be seen. They want to be hidden, the power before her fictitious throne here in this town.
You're a lot calmer than I am, boss, but, what do you want me to do? You want me to go down and talk to Benny?
Keep in contact with Benny. Let us, so we know exactly when it took, so we know the moment it arrives. Let him know to mobilize the usual suspects, so we are ready.
Okay.
Tell him that we have his back, that I will be with him all the way. He will not be facing this alone. And in the process, we will make sure that no one else decides how to boss around and rule this city.
All right. All right.
And do you remember the code word for the golems at the door?
There's a moment of terror on his face.
Is it the winter code word or the spring code word? I forget.
Okay. The code word is movement, follow, and they will follow you wherever you lead. I have a feeling we may need their assistance come the proper time.
Okay. Kind of creep me
And
out.
they are trained to recognize your voice as well as mine.
That doesn't dry my palms, but okay. All right. Have you seen them yet?
No, I have not. My sources tell me they may be on their way soon. But they're being the types that they are not necessarily easy to track, but it can be done.
Okay. All right.
Well, he puts his hat back on.
I'm just gonna keep checking in, make my circuit. I'll be back around. But okay.
And he unbars the door and moves to open as the bell ding 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 goes off again.
It's a pretty day, but that's worse.
Beautiful day out. It's always a beautiful day in here in Hensford.
Sure.
And Pickens backs out and closes the door, and the bell ding 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 goes off, and your golem guardian turns from the door and looks back at you.
I look at the golem and say, Sequence 48 on hold.
It lifts a mighty right gauntlet and flexes its fingers into a fist, lifts them up about head level beside the door, and waits. And as we see that, we pull back out of the modest shop and hangs forth, travel over the Kestrel Mountains, through the plains of Kedwin, until we get to the forest edge of the Blue Mountains. And we bring in everybody else. My friends, including Hawk, if you've just heard, Steve, Big Pig of 50,000, has just given you all +2 this evening. So make sure you use your recently acquired, how do you like that silver? So you have +2 on every roll tonight, my friends. Courtesy of Steve. But here we are. We have just witnessed Letho, the Kingslayer, or just Letho, leaving into the forest. And Wim, you see Brilar, the elf, as she kind of nods solemnly, backs off into the deep woods, gives you just a bit of a touch of her hand to her brow, and says goodbye.
As she's retreating into the shadows, Wim would say, I know it's not likely I'll be able to see you again, but I hope before my last day that I'll be able to meet with you one more time.
She doesn't say anything, she just nods. And then she's gone.
Wim would go back to the rest of the party. Well, that's that. Oris, I speak to you for a second. Yeah. Keep your voice down. That Leffo. Son of a bitch. So,
Not really. He's a lot worse than that.
imagine all the things he did. How would you feel if, for instance, all his actions were on your head?
For a while they were. I mean...
They are. He took his deeds, went town to town, and painted us as the ones that did him. We need to lay low as cities.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Fantastic. That's brilliant.
Let's not let the rest of them know. But if they can go into town and we can stay outside, that might be the best.
Well, shit.
Yeah. He's a real fuck.
And he just got to the north. Running out of places to hide.
I'm at a loss, so stick to the wilderness. At least we know what we can get there. Less things to stab you in the back.
We might have to try blending in a little.
Fucking excuse me. Look at me.
Win. It's a shitty ad. But let's be real. When has our luck ever held? It's just another notch along the way. And if anyone, if Letho, if any of these pricks out there with steel in their hand and an eye on that bounty feel like trying it, then I'll deal with them the same way. This is done when I find out. When I get to the bottom of this. And then maybe I disappear, but until that point, come one, come all.
I've got an idea.
Alright?
I think maybe we should let Deuce in on this. So in the event we do get caught, he can say he's escorting us to authorities.
You trust him?
I've seen what you can do.
Yeah, I've seen what Letho can do. Didn't trust him.
Well then, Ezrin? Varan?
I
Would
don't
they be
really
better
trust
suited
any
for
of
that
them.
job?
Ezrin doesn't know shit about what's going on in the world. Let's be real. And Varan, well, maybe. She might be able to. I mean, she got us here.
She's good to talkie. Might be able to, at least if we get caught, negotiate for escapable holdings.
Right. Yeah, maybe. Look,
I feel if we let Deucer do it, he's just gonna fucking kill everyone.
He does have a tendency to lose his temper a little bit.
No.
But then again, I guess no
Gotta
one
stick,
stays perfect forever.
gotta stick to what you're good at. He's
Yeah.
good at killing, which is
Yeah.
what we should do. So, fuck, I feel maybe Varan. Gotta let her know.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really have any plans of going back behind bars. And they probably don't have many plans of taking us alive. But if it does come to that, if I don't stick around, it's nothing personal.
I know, but the moment you leave, I'll keep track. If and you like, I'll just meet back here, make a plan from there. So, 2 weeks from when you leave, I'll meet you here.
I'll find you. Here or along the way. No point in us avoiding each other.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, I was trying to keep you out of this shit. Now you got as much of a bounty on your head as I do.
you know, I'm less good with people, and I'm less good with being sneaky. Shadows are not my thing. Fuck. He's gonna look over. Varan, can we steal you for a second?
Hi, if you need to, Mr. Wynn. Master Wynn. She's sitting recently, but she stands up slowly and walks over to you.
We're in a bit of a bind. So, turns out Letho, with his long list of deeds against monarchies of all sort, pinned all of them on Aris and I, from
Well,
town
he's
to
tried
town. I suppose we might be household names,
That's a minor problem.
but in the event we get caught, You, Dusa, and Ezrin set a trap, caught us, and are turning us in.
That's an option. If you get
Mm.
caught without me,
Then we're...
It's unlikely we're going to be caught without you. We'll either come quietly because you're there, or we won't. In which case it's us or them. Simple as.
may I ask a favor, Master Eris?
Sure.
If you go quietly, I'll know where you are and I can open a door out.
I don't think many people are going to be keen on turning us in alive.
Yes, that is a problem. A lot of people don't like it when witchers become a problem.
So as I say, if you're around, you're taking us in. If not, then we take our chances, and you should probably get well clear.
Well, I know you had a promise, Master Eris. I'm going to fulfill it. So, your job is to stay alive. And I'll do what I can to help you with that.
You good with that, Wim?
Yeah.
Right.
Where
So
would you
what's,
like to go from here?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Well, if we go to Sidaris, I can do that favor, but we've got more pressing things.
I gotta go to Hangsforth.
What's there?
Someone who might be able to figure out what's locked away in this stone. Maybe give us a name. Killing people's easier when you have names.
Eris, you hear in your head, "Show us the way home."
Well, if you give me a minute, or like 3, we can go to Hangsford. And then, hopefully quietly, complete what you need, Master Eris. And, if necessary, we have another door to Sidaris.
How are you doing? Looking a little rough around the edges, pardon me speak.
It's been a very long 3 days. 4, I guess.
We should probably make some preparations, just in case the worst comes to pass in Hangsforth. No telling how far Lethos spread our good word.
And if I recall correctly, there's someone else waiting in Hangsforth for His Royal Highness.
Well, let's hope the two aren't connected. Otherwise it could be an ugly reunion. And I think he's about done with ugly reunions.
Aye, that would be a problem. I thank you for your concern, Master Wim.
We need you. Just got to try to look out a little bit.
All right.
You probably want to walk away right now, Aaron, because I'm about to piss him off. And I take my knife hold it out towards Wim.
What's this?
They've got your likeness. You need a shave. Don't give me that fucking look, alright?
No, I'm not.
Wim? You're gonna get me. You're gonna get Ezrin. You're gonna get
I got
Varen.
your likeness too, so what we're
Yeah.
gonna do? Take my
I'm
beard
good
in
at
and-
being. I'm good at being unseen. All right, I know how to walk through a crowd and never have been there. But you fucking 7-foot lummox, have got to do something so you don't stick out so much. Now I'm not asking to do it for you. I'm giving you the option, but take the fucking chance. Take it for us.
Give me a minute. He grabs the knife. He goes off to the tree line.
I give him privacy.
Veron is just standing watching the two of you at this point.
And you see him pacing back and forth in the tree line. And then he'll yell at the top of his lungs really loud, punch a tree, walk around some more. He hasn't done anything yet. He'll like grab it and hold the knife to it and like almost be able to fucking cut a little bit off. And then and then walks, punches another tree.
Master Wim, how now?
He's wrestling with something. Give him a minute.
He just grabs it and like, come on, you fucking lilac. You can fucking do it. And then just cuts off a big chunk of it and takes a side, cuts a big chunk off the side, takes another one, cuts a big chunk off the side, and all of the beard hair is in his hand, and he looks into the woods. He whistles and then leaves the beard hair in a pile by a tree at the edge of the woods. And he spits into his hand, puts the blade in it, and starts to even it out and make it smooth. And he comes back. And he's obviously very bad at this, so there's a lot of cuts, and his like the lower half of his face is just kind of.
Can I try
trickling.
and intervene before he flays the his jawline?
You sure can. And in fact, at this point, I would like to have you do me, if you're going to try to help out, a grooming and style roll here.
Oh shit, that's a roll?
That is
Yes, that is.
that is a roll.
Fuck me, I was gonna say, like, could I use small blades?
Some people are better at grooming and styling than others.
See, this really seems like a grooming and style roll.
Yeah, no,
You gotta use it.
I was really confident until I realized it was an actual fucking roll for it.
Can Veron help a little bit in this one?
Have at it. As long as Wim accepts the help, whoever would like to do it.
Because she's gonna turn to Eris and say, if he's gonna do this, he should do it right. He needs to look like he belongs, right? He needs to look like he belongs in Hangsforth.
Don't really know much about Hangsforth, so.
He needs to look like this. And she gestures a hand in front of her face and creates an image of probably, because she can do it and it's easy, the styling of someone from Hangsforth. Probably imitating, actually looks exactly like Vonnegut.
Okay. Are you...
Ezrin just watches this. There's clearly stuff going on, so he watches from this sort of distance, probably standing near Dusa, observing the shenanigans.
You see Veron's face turn to that of a slightly older, slightly chiseled looking man, salt and pepper hair, a very tight beard next to his face, but it's very, very trimmed, very, very tight and very precise. Looking kind of like Ezrin, but it's a little bit longer, and the hair is a little bit longer and a little bit more stylized.
All right, so like he lets y'all work with him, but like all of his muscles are tense, and then there's like a pool of tears welling at the bottom of his eyes.
All right. Grooming and style is under empathy or craft.
And the DC is probably raised because his lips are quivering so damn much.
She's gonna basically have Eris help her do the mechanics, but she's gonna give the direction on what it should look like. Does that make sense? So like,
it's your role, but you can execute it however you'd like. Yeah.
Yeah. Grooming and style, +2, +2. That's a 20, and for some reason it's whispered.
Oh yeah, everybody check. For whatever reason, it likes to whisper your character sheets. I'll go through and check. Yeah, 20 is very, very good. So Wim is as Hangsforthian as Wim wants to be.
And so it's clean. The cuts that he made are kind of small and sealed up, but after with the beard gone, he looks like Tom Hardy.
It works for him.
Ezrin walks over. Master Wim.
Yeah.
Fare thee well.
Go on.
The look is not one that I associate with thee, but it does suit thee. For now, thy beard shall grow. However, might I ask wherefore comes this?
No.
All right. And he goes back to where Dusa is, like, because this is like a whole thing that's going on. Like, maybe there was a bet. Seems intense.
Yeah, as soon as JF gets back, I want to know what the reaction is between Ezrin and Dusa as all of this is going on. Not the plotting, but the
all of this.
Conspiratorial
There's some yelling,
whispering, and then the cutting of a beard.
punching.
Right.
And Veron suddenly looking like Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, we don't know why. We don't know why this is happening. So Ezrin returns to Dusa's side and says, Master Dusa, what mischief are these gentles involved in, dost thou think? Perchance a bet of some sort?
Master Ezrin, Prince Ezrin, what mischief were you involved in on the battlefield?
No mischief.
He's giving you a dark look.
I was saving their life.
Please explain.
I saw that thou hadst been injured. I worry still about thy leg. How fares it?
It's better.
And there was no time to get to thee by normal means.
And so what means did you employ?
The details are... He stops. Thou art retired as a witcher, art thou not?
Yes, for what it's worth.
Might be worth much. I know that witchers have as their honor bound to slay all monsters.
You see, he gets up. All of a sudden, so he winces as he clutches his leg. And he looks at you. He looks at the others. And he says, I'm starting to get real tired of all these secrets.
Master Dusa, I speak plainly. The mechanics of what happened is I am no witcher, nor am I a sorcerer. Details I know not. Mechanics I know not. I only know that
Are you a fucking vampire, Ezrin?
No. Were I so, I would always be so. But I was. For 200 years. Methinks that is not so easily shed when a curse is broken.
Don't do it again. Let me die. I'd rather die than be saved by a monster.
Is everyone privy to this?
Yes,
Nope,
everyone's privy. He's speaking loud and clear.
That I will allow this, if this wants to be something that Ezrin is saying quietly during the other conversations, this could be something that transpires while the rest of you are cutting beards and punching trees.
Yeah. But I imagine Dusa is shouting, but
Dusa
Ezra is
started
keeping
shouting.
his but Ezra is keeping his volume low.
Yeah.
Master Dusa. There are reasons one does not necessarily share freely, and my concerns were just confirmed for this moment. But I honor your wishes. I shall not save thee.
You can save me as a man.
And Ezrin just sort of turns and leaves that moment and sort of sets himself to the side so that people can continue their shaving and punching and whatnot. And he sort of stands pondering with a sort of kind of like that sort of a sad look of someone who, there's like a sorrow. There's a sorrow as he sort of stands to the side to allow the professionals to talk.
We'll say then that the appropriate amount of time passes for the two conversations and actions to sort of sync up. So as the one group had its discussions on appearance and production, and the others on monsters and men, conversations end, and the group is together again.
Changed my mind. If you're tired of secrets, I got rid of me beard because Lefo framed Oris and I for his actions of regicide in the north. So anywhere we go, we're going to be wanted. He's sneaky. I stick out. So, when we're in a city, you can call me Tim?
All right.
Master Wim, might I ask, what is this tale of regicide in the north that this Letho partook in? This seems politic that I am not aware of.
I don't know the ins and outs, but he's considered the killer of kings, the king slayer.
About a while back, Letho got himself captured. And he kind of glances towards Varen for a moment, but then breezes past the circumstances of it, not wanting to dredge that up. And anyway, the good Emperor Emrys, he decided that Letho and his kin, my kin, might be better suited for his own purposes. A while back, our school was... well, it ain't there anymore. He cut Letho a deal. The deal was... he helped ready the north for Nilfgaard to invade by knocking off a few key political figures, and in exchange, the Emperor would rebuild the Viper School. 3 brothers, and a whole load of other horse shit. Letho agreed to it. A couple of others. Most of them are dead now. Letho survived, and they got 5 kings in the process.
And we aided this villain.
Well, those kings weren't angels.
Neither was he. He did what he could to try and save his other vipers, the rest of us. It was the only chance he had. And he can be a little impulsive at times.
And in all his benevolence, he pins the rest of it on us.
If you're gonna disappear, something has to happen. A body has to crop up sooner or later, Wim. People would have kept hunting him. I'd have dragged him to the forest. I know why he did it. Makes sense. Someone kills us, Legend of Letho dies, the Kingslayer dies. It's a smart plan. Can't say I blame him for it.
What was gonna make things hard as fuck for us?
Yeah.
As if they weren't hurt enough.
I never wanted shadows, I never wanted deceit, never wanted to have a second fucking name. But, like all things in nature, you adapt or you die. So, we're going to Hangsforth.
One last thing before we vanish. There's a lot more odds against us. This is getting harder and harder to see this through. So, in case me and Wim don't make it towards the end of this, I should probably be honest with you about some things. Me and Ezekon, we were hunting a mage. And that mage, he believed, is in close with one of the kings in the north. Maybe. Someone of power. They're using a place of power to, I don't know, take control of things. Monsters. Saw it happen with Wraiths.
Perchance also this Leshen.
That's what I was thinking. Compelling them. Using this thing. Like an enchantment, I suppose. It's an army. Completely loyal. Can march, feeding itself. Doesn't give a damn about uniforms, flags. You just point it in a direction and it kills everything in the way. They have no fucking idea who's doing it. Whoever it was, they cursed Ezekon. And then they had him killed. And I'm willing to bet it's the same piece of shit who dropped their friend on us. Whoever they are looking to take out others in the north. Maybe to unite it, I don't fucking know. Maybe to carve out more territory, maybe to solidify the north against Nilfgaard. I don't give a fuck what their motivations are, what their justifications are. Whoever this piece of fucking vermin is, I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna remove their fucking skin and I'm gonna choke them to death on it. Because they came for Ezekon. They killed him for this. The only thing I know about the place of power is this. It's by the sea. And it's twinned with one in Nilfgaard.
By the sea.
He shudders slightly at that for a second and tries to press on. And this is... It's twinned with one in Nilfgaard, and it's by the sea, and me and Ezekon were investigating the one in Nilfgaard when we were arrested and charged with treason and a whole bunch of other shit by Nilfgaard.
By the sea? You don't know where?
I haven't got a fucking clue.
Could be Kari Saran. Do you know of a place of power there, Varun?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but there wasn't a place of power at any of the Witcher schools, was there? No.
Deliberately so, right.
Deliberately so, because it would mess with the Trial of the Grasses.
But nearby, possibly?
It would have to be a fair distance. I know of certain places where one would be looked for, but a place of power near the sea, I only go back to one. And I don't think I'm going there right now.
Why is that?
Because the biggest place of power by the sea is Aretusa.
That be
Hence my
twinned with one in
mistrusting.
Nilfgaard?
No. The place in power of Aretusa is tied to Benard.
He thinks.
And after we get what we need in Hengsforth, we'll go to the Dukedom of Sidoris, and we can look for two things.
Well, what do we need in Hengsforth?
A name.
We need a name. And there's an individual there who can break open a present Aris is carrying.
A present from whom?
Ezekon. When he died, he left me this. Takes out the blue meteorite. He knew he couldn't beat the curse that was keeping him from remembering the name of his adversary, so he told me he had something in place. That's why I came to the funeral. To collect. Whatever there's in here will either be the name of who it is or a clue as to who it is. It's the only thing he could do in the end. That's why I was in Skellige before all this. I was trying to get a boat, take me along the coast, see if I could find one of these places of power, and then I found out that he'd died. And it's been a shit show ever since.
So we're headed to Hangsford then.
Need to get some potions there.
Need to get some everything now.
Everything.
Get that leg looked at.
My leg, my armor.
Just so we're clear, once we're in the city walls, I want to make sure that all of y'all know what to call me.
Tim.
Hi, Master.
In which case, you might as well use my full name. Adrian.
I'll be called Trinian. The name
Trinian.
of the name of the one who ran away with my girl a while back.
You had a girl? Wim looks surprised and starts laughing.
180 years old. I've had a few.
Yeah. Right. Anyone else want to get all touchy-feely before we fuck off?
How might we clear thy names? What is done can be undone.
The last time I was convicted of treason, the only thing that cleared it was the next leader of Nilfgaard, who became known as the Usurper. Look, I'm wanted in 3 different kingdoms, mate. Don't hold out any hope for me. Wim, on the other hand, well, get out of the north, I reckon.
I figure the only thing that will help our dear friends right now is a certain individual with a certain amount of authority who can spread it around. That these are not the correct descriptions of Letho of Gullet. So you might have to see your fair lady once more.
I could not be stopped from seeing her. She may answer questions.
She may.
Well then,
She may also try to kill you.
also
Nay.
true.
She would
can
not.
get in line.
She
would
did
not.
sign your son's death warrant.
There was a signature on that death warrant. I know not that it was her.
You don't know much about the last 200 years, Ezrin.
Nay.
We need to keep that in mind.
Well then, if we're going to Hangsforth, Greg, would this count as a short rest?
What, you all sitting around talking? No.
It's a low rest activity.
I was kind of, that's why I was like, we'll do like some downtime stuff. Let the sorceress
Well, let me
chill
no,
for a bit.
right. Let me put it to you like this. I will say that your stamina has replenished, but as far as you all,
Oh yeah, that's all I cared about.
yeah, stamina's back, so you can cast. But stamina's back. Everybody though, you haven't been able to gather up any type of focus on healing, or more importantly for you all at this point, rest. You all are, running the meter on getting ready to get like penalties and things for just being up and fighting and not taking care of yourselves. You're not hydrated. I'm worried.
We have to use hand sanitizer. Don't touch our face.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
That's basically just like how I am usually when I'm playing Witcher 3. I'm not taking care of myself, haven't eaten properly, haven't slept in 3 days. It's just playing Witcher, man. That's
Right.
what happens to you.
It's like Red Dead Redemption 2 and you realize that you look like a skeleton. You're like, oh my god, I gotta get
You've
some food
taken
in this
more
guy.
character, like you've shaved your in-character game face and everything. He's eaten like 6 meals today, and you haven't eaten anything other than peanut butter out of a jar. It's great.
In that case,
Ezrin does say, ere we leave, I would not have aided this Kingslayer had I known he was a man of no honor. You know that I am not well versed in the current moment, but I must say, so that ye know, a man who would murder in order to aid the invasion of my homeland is not a man I would aid.
Well, you never know. Maybe he did you a favor.
And as far as everyone's concerned, he needed what I had, and I gave it to him. And that's that. Past is the past. Let's move forward.
I ask only that information such as this be shared.
We don't know what you don't know.
I have not been awake for 200 years. Master Wim, I know little of the current state of the world.
I guess we'll take turns delving it out in stories then.
My thanks. Especially ere I make a magical pact. Next time, perchance, that information might be useful.
Fair enough.
well then, if we're going to Hangsforth, I say let us go.
Oh, one last thing, disguises?
And she just wipes her hand in front of her face again, and Joe Manganello is gone, and it's just back to her being looking like herself.
Is it a hard G or is it a soft G?
Manganello?
Yeah, soft G. Okay.
Yeah.
I will walk over to the edge of the woods, get as close as I dare.
How close is that, just for...
Probably like right to the tree line.
Okay.
Not out of sight. But I will crouch down and mutter, sighing under my breath, and just take some dirt, and basically I'm just gonna like smear it round my face a little bit to darken my skin a little and sort of get it in my beard a little. And then I will wrap myself a little more conspicuously, wrapping my scarf sort of around my head and close to my face to cover my features a little bit more, and fashion myself a very fetching cowl. And then come over and just... Right.
It's the swords that give it away.
Ezrin draws his cowl over his cloak. Eric.
Eris, this sounds like a disguise role for you.
It does it? You really seem to make me want me to make all these things.
So as the 6 elves that are staring down the shafts of their arrows at you, let's see how well in their eyes you do.
Let's see. It's a 10.
again, from the elven perspective, as the half dozen are in the trees and the limbs, one of them on the forest floor, the two closest in the trees, one kind of cocks their head, looks over at the other, and the other looks and kind of shrugs. You have achieved an average disguise as far as the elves are concerned.
The Witcher breathed so loud we could have shot him in the dark. Like,
Right.
and I make my way over to rejoin the group. Oh, fuck that, it's hot.
Yeah, Deuce is just gonna hide his swords underneath some furs.
Ezrin will walk towards the tree line, but not get into it, and will say something in an old language. Will sort of make an announcement, sort of an old dialect, and then we'll return to the group.
You can tell me exactly what you say later, but why don't you roll me any empathy skill that you want to use here? Charisma, leadership, persuasion, seduction. I don't know what you're doing, but roll
Clearly seduction. No, I will go with leadership. It sounds quite official, whatever it is that he says.
Gotcha.
27.
Ooh, that
I
is
mean, if
not
it's
bad.
an elder speech.
I was going by the understanding that Ezra and you were trying to say it. You're projecting in and not back, correct? You're just you're
into the forest.
Correct.
A proclamation, as it were.
Roger that.
If your gentlemen are ready, then. And she gestures again with her right hand, and Frostfang's in that one. And again in her left hand, you see the other staff that looks like a piece of driftwood. And she brings them both up and out and casts a standing portal to probably, I mean, she would know of people in Hangsforth. And she knows somewhere, like she would probably cast it to someone's house that she knows of, that she knows that she's been to.
I will allow you to cast to a home if you would like, or you can cast to the basement of the Tipsy Pelican.
She does need a drink. Yeah, she looks at the three Witchers, looks at Ezra, and as she's casting, she says, "I could certainly go for a drink now, can't you?"
Have an episode.
But first, I do this. Well, that doesn't matter. I just do this now. Hmm. 27.
So as the circle opens, do you all... Oh, wait, you have your horses with you. We'll say it's outside the alley beside the Tipsy Penguin, so we don't have a very interesting logistical problem with getting...
I mean, she could probably just send them to the stables at the Tipsy Penguin.
Yeah, okay. So within moments, unless anybody wants to stay behind here, you are at the Tipsy Penguin. Your horses are stabled. The horse with no name and compatriots are placed within their individual stalls. As this is also a place of rest as well as relaxation, it has rooms for rent. Despite its name, it is not as seedy as it sounds. It has quite a comical little board outside too of a flightless bird that is turning, and its bill is straight up as it walks into a wall, and that's on the placard outside, identifying the Tipsy Penguin.
Before we would have gone through the portal, I would have taken my furs and like wrapped it around my swords, and so taken off my mantle and just covered my back with it. So it's like, oh, a backpack of stuff and not swords. And before walking through the portal, I would have gazed longingly into the woods before heading into it.
Okay. And as you walk into the portal and all of you proceed through with Varen, I assume, closing the portal as soon as everyone's through, as soon as the magic kind of spirals and winks out of existence, a delicate hand reaches out from the forest and grabs a few strands of hair that were left there. But as you have arrived in the city of Hangsforth into civilization for the very first time in our campaign, we are out of the wilderness. We are surrounded by geometry and not ecology, as you all look upon the grand, cosmopolitan, in-training city of Hangsforth. And that, my friends, is where we will take our break. We're going to take a quick break, everybody. Make sure that everybody, including yourselves that are watching, go get some drinks of any kind, and make sure you do everything that we need to do, as I make sure that all of my players do what they need to do, and I do what I need to do. But we will be back here in 5 minutes or less. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and we will be right back, my friends. Right back. Well, hello, everybody, and we are back from our break. We are hydrated, we are taken care of, and we are ready to continue this wonderful narrative. We are going to fast forward just a little bit, and as our friends have just arrived here in Hangsforth at the Tipsy Penguin, they are, in fact, going to fast forward a bit, and whether or not they are beginning rest or some other pursuit, we are going to find each individual in a room or rooms if they are sharing, and so I will simply ask my group, you have some precious free moments right now. There have been seldom few in this campaign. What do you do?
Wim's sitting in his room. Are there enough rooms for all of us individually, or are we shacking up for conservation?
The Tipsy Penguin has enough rooms for all of you individually, but you may shack up if you wish.
I will offer to shack up with Wim if he wants. If he's not interested, then I'll get my own room.
Wim's a conservative spender, so he can deal with it. But he's sitting at the edge of his bed looking into a still tub of water at this face, and he's like looking at it, and his brow's furrowed, and as waves start to shimmer, he like looks at it again and just kind of starts to like it a bit.
Very good.
So, is this in a tub then, or is this like
a tub or like a hand washing bowl, like a shallow with water in it?
My friend, this is The Witcher. If you want a hot bath,
Is this that moment?
it could very well be, my friend.
I've been waiting for it.
How good are Wim's abs? How
He's
good
got-
are
how
his
Good's
abs?
your graphics card?
His Wim. Well, first.
Is there like a little Wim card that we get? Like, do we get the little Wim pinup?
Get a little pinup moment.
Yeah.
If you were like Wim has one ab, so he would definitely be a bear daddy.
That makes sense.
It's a
but
damn good
he's-
ab, though.
It's one rock solid ab. I'm sure there's definition in there, like a power lifter gut kind of thing. But he's he took his armor off, but he's got like the undergarments and things on, and he's just like looking at the water, toying around with it with his finger, and just kind of getting to know himself a little bit.
Need me to give you a minute or an hour?
No. Just, it's a big change. I've had this since I left the school.
Yeah, I remember.
When you think we're going to let them know?
I don't know. Does it matter?
Suppose not. And he takes an orange from his side and just shoves the piece into his mouth.
You ever go back?
Back to queso or back to having a beard?
I imagine the beard will grow back. You know, these things tend to happen. But no, I mean, go back.
I'd like to see Elise one more time before she goes. She's getting up there.
Yeah, she is. You know, I meant to write. But,
Didn't we all?
when was the last time you were home?
I can't remember. One time since I got out of school. Don't like Nilfgaard too much.
Oh, they don't like me too much.
She's got to know we're alive, right?
Fuck knows. Don't even know she's alive. Although, to be honest, I can't really imagine anything killing her.
This stubborn old bitch.
Yeah, she was, but she was family.
Yeah, she was. I'd like to go back just to see what's changed. Just out of curiosity, you know? It'll always
But
be
it's
there.
still a shithole.
Oh yeah, but it was our shithole.
Yeah, it was.
Own it. No use in disguising it. It wasn't bad.
No.
Not to us. Someone from up here, yeah, it's gonna be real bad.
Have you seen up here?
But in Gehazo, and now, from what I hear, you're lucky to leave with any coin at all. Bunch of brigands.
Yeah. You know, I went back once before I got locked up. I was there. Way back. It's where Ezekon and me, we met up there before we had to. Anyway. You remember, shit, I forget the name of it. It was on the Bandits Road. Some bougie little fucking tavern pretending to be a wine bar or some shit.
You expect me to remember the name of a bougie tavern?
And I went back. It was a place. I think it was called the Rose Wine Vinter Tavern. Fuck me, that place.
Heard of it? Never been.
And I had a lot of fancy guests along the way. And along the way, the owner picked himself up a world of trouble. Didn't realize it at first. In fact, it was actually some local bandits who footed the coin for getting rid of it, but found himself in the company of a particularly vicious little succubus. It wasn't exactly the nicest of customers. Anyway,
Sounds like Gehazo.
yeah. Anyway, once I was done, I thought about going home, you know.
I imagine the pool's always going to be there. There's no place like home, they say, you know. You have the sharpest memories when you're a kid. Nothing's ever as good.
No.
So, with that in mind, please don't keep any more secrets from me. We've got to be on the same page.
Look, I wasn't avoiding you, brother.
I know. I know
It's
you wouldn't
just-
do that on purpose.
I didn't want to see any more of our family dead. And the shit they had on me, still have on me.
In Gehazo or in Nilfgaard?
Fucking everywhere now. I'm wanted for treason in Nilfgaard. Wanted for, well, not much in Skellige, but... You think the debt collectors in Nilfgaard are something to worry about? You should see the ones out in the Isles. They make you look small.
That sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe that's where we should head after all this, if we ain't dead.
Key words, if we ain't dead.
Yeah.
We could find a spot, hide out, and keep us fed. Maybe Deuce has got something onto something with this whole retirement stick.
Speaking of Dusa, his talk about lovers had me kind of curious. Is there anyone for you?
Fuck.
I mean, I presume I don't have any nephews or nieces anywhere, unless you're really talented.
You see how good I am at talking? There's not enough ale in the world to make me look appealing. But that elf back there,
I noticed.
something about a feeling, an understanding. Like, it's gonna sound weird, but you ever look at a dog and have an idea that the dog knows where you're coming from? Now, I'm not comparing her to a dog, but we've got very different stories. And I just kind of get it, you know? I don't get much, but I get that.
Been on enough hunts, eventually you start to realize that you got more in common with the monsters you're hunting than the people who are hiring.
Yeah. That's why I stay out of the towns. Just... normal folk just don't understand.
He's lonely.
You've got my back, right?
Fuck yeah. Ask that question. Come on.
It's been a long time, okay? Just looking for a little reassurance. I've got one last thing I'm keeping pretty close to me.
Yeah?
But, it has to stay between us. No one else.
I don't suppose anyone else knows most of this shit we've been through.
And he will take a few steps back. He'll go over and he'll check the door, check windows, make sure that no one is looking in. And what was the name of the elf?
Brila.
Right. Fuck. Well, you have Rila and I have something else. But you have to promise to keep your cool.
Why would I not keep my cool? It's just a story, right?
No.
Some lonely dame from fucking Redania or something.
Tears.
Tears? No, I don't have any tears.
Whim, you would see blue ethereal fingers sprout out of Eris's shoulders, and almost as if peeking over a hedge or into a room, you would see a face of a beautiful girl pull out from behind Eris and stare at you with these overly large eyes.
You see his eyebrows get huge, and
the
his go ahead.
I was going to just say the last thing. The bear amulet on your chest begins to thump and vibrate.
How in the hell?
It's alright, Tears. This is my brother. Whim.
Whim.
Are you
Not possessed.
I've seen some weird shit, but oh boy, that is something else. Do I have to be cordial, or how do I'm Wim. It is pleasant to meet you.
You see a smile dance along her face as her hair splays out, as if suspended in water, and when she turns her head, it moves as such, dragging a bit behind her. And with that coy smile, the hands that are perched on Eris's shoulder, one of them reaches over as if to shake yours. Wham!
And then he'll try to shake the hand.
It gives a little bit, not like a sponge, but more like the thought of a sponge. But you feel something. And it's surprisingly warm.
How did she...
You're gonna struggle to offend us, so go on. Let's not be delicate.
Did it start like this? Did you meet her alive?
No.
Okay. How did you not kill her upon first seeing her? Because from what I know, you're pretty quick to action.
A deal.
That's about the cut and dry of it. That's how it started anyway. And I sort of shoot a glance to Tears like, it's not exactly that anymore. Well, it is, but...
And at this point, she'd rest her head on Eris's shoulder as she kind of drapes her arms over. Continues to look at you, Wim.
Reach back and just gently run my fingers, brushing her hair as it sort of floats there like it's underwater.
And you love her?
She's been with me longer than anyone.
And that's a yes?
I didn't say that.
Well, this is awkward.
She saved your life.
Mine?
Yeah.
When? How?
When we were fighting the Wraith, the Noon Wraith, together, it blinded you and it almost killed Dusa, and I don't think Ezra was coming out of that particularly well, and Varen got herself chewed on by a botchling, so things were looking pretty dire. She helped me kill it, and then later we went back together, the two of us, and put her to rest. That's how I knew where the Wraith was, how I knew the Wraith was there. She can sense them.
Thanks, I guess. I ate the whole orange, but if you want, can you use this? It's the outside. Ryan, do you?
As you hold it up, you can see it reflected dimly in the large eyes, but she just stares at you, not blankly, but without reaction.
I'll take that as a no. I guess I owe you, Tears.
She looks confused.
He's a friend. He'll help us.
Friends don't owe friends anything.
Okay. Can I do anything for you?
Do you want the bath?
Eventually, but we got time. We'll take turns. Okay, who goes first?
Tears?
She turns and her hair suspended. And before she sinks back into Eris, she looks at you again, Wim, and says, Wim, I like you without the hair.
Wim furrows his brow and kind of blushes, sniffles, and tries to immediately turn in a different direction.
Aris will stand there and wait for Wim to look towards him again. And the second Wim is facing him again, and she has sort of fallen beneath the surface of his skin, Aris will take a jerky step towards him. In his direction.
And he's going to use a strong attack to slap him.
I'm going to rule that it automatically hits, and as the smack reverberates in your skull, in addition to the strike, you would hear
Aris comes up laughing.
If you do that shit while I'm trying to sleep, I'll wait till you go to sleep, and I'm just gonna piss all over your body.
Well, she doesn't sleep. But if you want her to, be more acquainted with you.
Well, now I don't. I'll think of something else. Something that works.
Sure. And Aris strips off and just completely strips down and jumps in the tub.
You're in the tub, feet up, and as the camera pulls back, as Eris enjoys a hot tub with the fresh feet, we will go to a different room. Where do we go, my friends?
I want to know what Varan is doing.
Varan has her own room, and she waits, and she's been polite to the innkeeper and the barman. Walks very sedately and still perfectly correct up to her room. Watches the rest of you go in and closes doors. She sighs, closes the door to her room, goes over to the basin that's there, reaches out a hand. It shakes for a minute. She grabs her wrist and puts it down. Shakes her head, picks up the pitcher, pours out the water, pulls out the ritual requirements for hydromancy, and she starts looking for a ring.
It's very close.
What are you staring into?
pitcher of water, or the basin of water.
There's something strange as you look into it. Again, as I describe a lot of times, it's almost as if somebody had taken a lens of a camera and smeared it with Vaseline or gasoline, something to give it that aura, that wavy mixture of cloudy blurs and edges. But for a moment, as these clouds and blurs pass, you can't decipher them. But then you see a hand, the nails stained, and it pulls on a chain. The chain passes by a black chest plate, and 2 items reside on this chain. One is a symbol you've never seen, but it looks like a Witcher symbol. It takes you a moment as the blurs and the smears kind of cross in front and take away the angles that provide definition. But then it turns, and for a briefest of moments you can see what it is. It's not a bear or a viper or a wolf. It's not a cat. It's not a griffin. It's a dragon. And beside it is a ring. And as the fingers travel up the chain, the face of Ezekon of Kreve is revealed. And then it is gone.
Well, now I know where to find you. I have something of mine, I want it back. She'll let the image fade. Listen for a moment to the sounds coming from the bar. And turn and just collapse on the bed.
Prax, describe to us, not mechanically, I mean, you can, but
Yeah.
you have done an excellent job of hiding just how badly Baran is, what kind of condition Baran is in. So what do we see now? There's no prying eyes, except, of course, the Legion.
You would see that slowly the glamour she's been wearing fades. Her eyes are gaunt. She's tired, almost exhausted. You'd see that her dress is, I mean, aside from the wounds from the botchling, she still has the 2 stab wounds from the bolts, arrows that were shot at her recently. She's moving stiffly because she has to, even though she's perfectly correct in everything she does. And she, aside from the bags under her eyes, you would see that they're red from trying to control how much she just wants to fall apart and cry forever. But she can't. Not yet. And she just breathes deeply and collapses.
And unless you would like something else, sleep will take you, if you will allow it.
She will fall asleep, but she still lifts a hand at the door and from the bed, not even caring, gestures at it and puts a line of ice across the front of it from the doorstep, across the threshold inside the door. Even if they get in the door, she'll hear that as they fall on their ass. And she collapses.
And sleep takes her. Who else?
Dusa and Ezrin are also rooming together because, the boys. And Ezrin is in the room, and he sort of unloaded all of the things, his messenger bag and all of those things. And he kneels this is what level of quality is this establishment, dearest Grim?
What kind of quality? Let's just say that
Veron picked it. That should let you know.
Right. Let's see, how do I put this? It is of a star quality that Veron would accept, but I'm not quite sure how Ezrin would feel about it. You're not slumming it? I don't know. It's this is not the Ritz.
But are there actual beds, or do we just have like lice-infested lumps of hay?
No.
Like, where are we at here?
No. This, the linens are cleaned at least once a week. There is fresh water. The tubs are cleaned out. Everything is taken care of here at the Tipsy Penguin, to the point where, you're satisfied that you're not going to need like a delousing when you leave.
I just wanted to know, because you never know.
You never know. I mean, you're all right.
Ezrin would, sort of upon coming in, he would sort of pile up all of his things, sort of out of the way of where Deuce would be, as to sort of not to intrude upon Deuce's space. It's sort of like a very, it's been a little bit tense, so he wants to sort of be unobtrusive, I suppose, towards Deuce. And he would spend maybe 15 or 20 minutes kneeling by the bed that he's at, praying silently, sort of to himself, with only like sort of small, very soft mutterings here and there, just sort of quietly praying for a good 15-20 minutes, but trying to be as quiet as possible and inobtrusive as possible, because he knows that Deuce probably has a lot going on in his mind.
Yeah, Dusa, he'll have stepped out after moving in to get his things, and you can see that he hates cities. You can see he's tense. He's that he's been living away from civilization for over a decade, and the biggest city he's been to in a decade was a small village, and that town that we were at, and he had a nasty experience there. So you can see he's on edge, he's tense, he looks out the windows and tries to see if anybody's casing us out. He'll when he hears somebody go by in the hall, he'll go to the door and take out a blade and wait for them to go by. And after that, once he's made sure everything looks secure, he'll go down, get his things, and bring up a big bundle that you've seen on his horse. It's about 6 feet in length. It's wrapped in furs, and when he gets to the room, he'll sit cross-legged next to you and open that bundle. And in it, you'll see a Gamerian weapon, a 6-foot sword that is actually, the name of it is hard to pronounce, because I have no idea how you should pronounce this, but it's Torrwr, so that's a tar or whatever. It's funny how they come up with names that you can't pronounce. But he'll take that out, he'll unwrap it, and he'll look at it reverently. And he'll lay it in front of him and take out that stone, the stone that they found in your ancestral home. And hell, I don't know if he got Ezrin's attention yet, or if he's still praying, but he'll put that stone onto the blade and wait for Ezrin to finish praying.
Only about 15 minutes before Ezrin, and you have traveled with him for some days now, and you've not seen him take the time to this. I suppose you've all been very busy, but he waits when he's finished, and he.
Is it? Could I tell who he's praying to, or?
How well do you know the northern religions?
I'd say not so bad. He was schooled in the north.
Kreve. To Kreve.
Oh.
The
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole sort of cult of Kreve is quite different now than it was then. Now it's sort of gotten very, well, there have been offshoots that are quite militant and strange. But like 200 years ago, it was all about sort of like fighting evil on the outside and within oneself. Sort of that kind of mostly in Hangsford, like in the Hangsford Leith area. And it's like, and you sort of would when you would catch little snippets, it's like a very antiquated language that he's using as he's sort of thinking about sort of cleansingness and doing right. It's like one of those sorts of things, and sort of responsibility. And when he's finished, he looks up and he sort of sees this massive weapon.
Yes. The time of hunting monsters is over. It's time to hunt men.
Sadly, sometimes men are the monsters.
He looks at you with a telling look. Yes, they are. My father was cursed like you were. And this sword was gifted to me by the man who slayed him.
I'm sorry for thy loss.
It was gifted to me as a souvenir, sent up north. What I call vengeance, you call punishment. But to be honest, I would prefer my vengeance to be just.
Punishment should also be just. Hence why it is called justice.
You remember, you're old enough to remember when witchers were one single order.
I do. And great heroes who roamed the land protecting all of those from creatures dangerous. I don't know how we all would have survived without the Witchers.
Well, they don't seem to be needed anymore.
If I might, is that why thou hast resigned from the order?
The reason I resigned the order is not because witchers are not needed by the people. It's because witchers don't need people. Witchers need coin. And the people hate them for it. And now they're hunting them. I think the witchers, the way we evolved, was our downfall.
How old wert thou when thy father was killed?
I was 7 years old.
I am truly sorry. The loss of a parent is devastating, and for one so young.
Yes. And the only person I ever met who could share that with me was your son. He's going to take his blade and he's going to hand it to you. I'll say, in times like these, if I do not bind myself to someone or something, I fear I will be lost.
What art thou saying, Master Dusa?
I'm saying, since you have no kingdom and no
Though I
son,
shall.
and I have no order and no father, then take me as your knight.
Master Dusa, knightly orders, the oath of a knight is something quite profound. And the oath a lord gives to those who serve is also quite profound. These are not to be taken lightly.
I know that.
Master Dusa, thou shouldst not swear to a liege without knowing that liege's mind. And so, must tell thee, I shall return Raustillen to a place. And that place that it shall be returned to will be a place where elves and man can live in harmony together. That I have sworn, and that it shall be. Can you serve such a liege?
Well, you have no lands, but you do have a lovely dream. And I don't think my vengeance, so to speak, will be complete unless your dream comes true. So, yes, I can.
Master Dusa, how old art thou
See, he takes a little time to think. 180. 179, actually.
Ah, still quite young. You remember the days of my time? Or perchance heard stories?
Yes. Yes, I have.
In my time, we were smaller, and the responsibilities of a prince of a principality were more direct, closer to the people. Not like an empire or a large kingdom, but there is a responsibility, an obligation a liege has to those they serve to protect those. There is honor that must be upheld. Your name is everything, your honor. I would hope that you would not allow me to make a deal with someone like Letho in the future if I do not know of that person's deeds. That you would alert me to the information I would need to know to make a well-informed decision so as not to besmirch my honor.
And you see he rises and gives you a courtly bow, much more sophisticated than anything you've seen coming from him, where you can see that he's able and he knows of these things. As you wish.
I need counsel. And I need counsel from one who would stand up in difficult times. I need counsel from someone who is honorable. Someone who has shown me that they would not allow an innocent woman to be left hanging in the wind, her ears cut, in a display of savagery, barbarism, and dishonor. I would need the counsel of one who would stand up and take Shilaloon down when others would not. Are you that man?
Yes, I am.
A man of honor.
Yes, I'll be a man of honor if that's what you ask.
A man of your word.
I will keep my word to you and to others because I represent you.
And keep your word to yourself because you are of value. A man who would not stand for the desecration of Shilaloon is a man who's rare and valuable in this moment, not to just me, but to this world. Do you recognize that in yourself?
I always try.
Well,
do what's right.
And he takes this massive sword.
It's huge.
Huge.
Yes.
Leveraging it.
It's bigger than you, probably bigger than you.
Yes, it is. It is bigger than he. And lays the blade at your left shoulder. And lays the blade on your right shoulder. Places the hilt on the ground and his hand against the blade, and he runs his hand against the edge, cutting his hand. And he says, "Then rise, Sir Dusa. I pledge, as your liege, to never dishonor you, to never give you orders that would bring shame to you, your family, or your name, and to always work and strive to be the liege that will honor you as you honor me. And he extends his hand with the palm bloodied and sort of leans your sword back towards you.
All right. With that, Dusa will cut his own hand and clasp Ezran's, looking him in the eye, and then kneeling.
And now you rise, your honor recognized, into a world that needs you more than perhaps you have known. Welcome back to this space, Sir Dusa of Gamera.
Thank you. You can call me Trinian.
Trinian. Oh. We needs must find a herald, methinks. Thou dost need colors. Perhaps a shield.
Oh. There'll be plenty of time for that later.
Aye. Sir Dusa, Trinian, thank you for your faith in me. I will be the prince that you have sworn your allegiance to.
Thank you, my liege. Don't... What happened on the battlefield last time need not happen again.
And so, it shall be. I need your help. I don't know this world.
So we'll begin sharing the details. He'll order some. He'll catch a wench in the hall and tell her to fetch a bottle, and we can start talking about the world, the last 200 years.
He needs to know what happened to his soap. It's like, really, there's a lot missing. And he will listen very intently and try to. It's clear that he wants to try to understand how the world came to be in this state where things are so dark and dire, and trying to understand. You can see that he wants to know who the power players are, right? He's clearly trying to figure out where alliances can be made, where they can't be made, what are the stakes in this moment, and try to understand Nilfgaard, which is far beyond anything that it was not a place. It was a small republic, and now it is this large empire. Trying to really understand the political positions of this moment, but also how people got so hopeless and how people got so cynical, right? He's trying to understand this moment so that he can figure out how to be, right? How to sort of be in this space.
And in explaining it to you, you can see that Dusa is starting to understand himself, the state of the world.
My friends, that was amazing. And because I would like to have a keepsake of this moment, Ezran, roll me a leadership roll. Dusa, roll me a swordsmanship roll.
Swordsmanship. Oh, yeah. And a fumble.
Fumble, but I still roll well. Give me a second.
Oh man.
16.
Swordsmanship, I'm just gonna roll a... Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, make sure you do a quick strike or a fast strike so you don't
Okay, did that.
Yeah. We'll take the first one that pops up.
Okay, there we go. Ooh, critical!
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We'll take the second one that comes up.
The second one. Why did I cut his head off?
And you cut his head off. That would be for the fumble.
You roll your critical roll in addition to that, please.
Oh, the crit. Sorry about that.
Nice.
5.
31.
Thank you.
That's mysterious.
Yeah.
And the last thing that after this sort of long evening, Ezrin is going to want to go down to the stables to the horse that he has been riding, which is Ezekon's horse. And he will spend an hour sort of grooming and communing with this horse that, in a way that he has not had time to up until now, sort of bonding with this horse.
Let's do something here too.
Some meditation for do so.
We'll jump right into that in just one sec. Let's see, there's an animal roll in here somewhere, isn't there? Maybe not. Give me a riding roll then. Just
Riding?
No, not you.
Okay.
Ezrin, please. Or wilderness survival.
And this is to sort of activate my Chevalier check. I have to roll will ×3 to bond with it.
Go right ahead.
And I have to roll against the mount's will ×3 is what it is.
I have it.
Okay, so this is here we go. $18.
That's good.
I'm gonna bond with my son's horse.
I was gonna say, for a moment, the horse looks at you with eyes that speak of a kinship that you haven't experienced with this mount, but the horse isn't fooled. It knows that you are not your son, but even horses can fool themselves. You seem to be close enough.
I only let a couple of tears fall in this moment before sort of making sure the horse gets to be perfect in a way that I do not currently get to be because I'm somewhat incognito. But the horse will be taken care of before I return to sleep.
And with our camera, we will pan away from the stables as Ezekon's horse and Ezekon's father bond. We go back up into the room where a knight was recently sworn. And we find Dusa. How do we find Dusa?
You find Dusa cross-legged in the middle of the room with his eyes kind of rolled up in the back of his head as he's in a trance, revisiting the moments that led to his wounded leg.
If a mind's eye could blink, it does. As you are aware of the room, you are aware of everything that has transpired, and your thoughts are still with Ezrin and your oath. And the mind's eye blinks, and the room begins to blur a bit, and your mind's eye blinks again, and you are nose to nose with Ezekon of Kreve. You are frozen in that moment. Your swords X'd in front. He has just proclaimed you the friend of the man that he has killed, Ezekon of Kreve. And you hear from over your shoulder,
"Let's watch them together."
and Ezekon steps beside you.
Okay. How did you get here?
Long story.
And you said because of the state that he's in, which is a meditative state, he masters his emotions, but he's having trouble reconciling this. This has not happened before during one of his trances.
And just as you think this, the swords break just as they did beside that lake. And you see, even in this slowed molasses moment, Ezekon of Kreve take that break in the sword and draw it in an arc as it comes in, and you know, even in your trance, you still feel the pain in your cracked ribs where it hits. I need you to roll awareness or Witcher training here.
All right. Witcher training. So that was Witcher training.
Which is a critical.
Is it critical?
Put a little critical on top of that, my friend.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Critical. Ah man.
Still
16.
Still a crit. As it swings, and even in the trance, as you move just as you did before, you can't alter your defense. You can't alter your attacks. You're reliving this moment. It's being played out before you in exquisite detail. But just in your periphery, just blurred a bit, you can see that incredibly familiar profile of Ezekon of Kreve. And as he swings and hits your ribs, you can still feel yourself draw back and wince from the blow that cracked and split the bone. You feel Ezekon's hand on your shoulder.
Fast. Too fast. How?
Probably enhanced. It's a potion. Or some magic.
He steps further into view, and you see his gloved hand point to the neck, around the eyes where the skin is thinnest.
Doesn't have the veinage. It's not dark.
It's probably magic then. Magic. He was with a mage, or
And as you're thinking and talking in real time, this molasses moment continues as Ezekon of Kreve spins from the strike against your ribs and thrusts behind himself to take you in the left arm. Roll me another Witcher training or awareness.
all right. Another critical. Oui.
So it is
That's a 1.
Doesn't matter. All I see is the critical. As he comes in the second time, it doesn't freeze, but it slows for a moment. And you hear Ezekon say,
There. Right there.
and you see the ripple of Quen over his body, the protective force field that you didn't notice in the fight. And as he spins around and takes you in the arm, Ezekon steps back.
This is it. This is the moment.
And you see and feel your own hands as you begin to cast your sign. Roll me one more awareness or Witcher training.
Can I get another critical? Oh my god! Oh man, that's nuts. Okay, yeah, and then now I know to press that button. I'm getting the hang of it. A 5 this time. That's a 20.
Fantastic. And you see yourself cast that sign to take over Jeffers of Kreve's mind, to puppet him, to make him kill himself with Ezekon's own sword, or just at the very least to gain control. You remember this moment, you remember the pain that followed it, the pain that preceded it, but you were confident as you cast this with the most power that you had put behind one of your signs. You were certain it would work. And somehow it didn't. And the sweat begins to pour off of Jeffers of Kreve's head, that black, inky sweat. And Ezekon points.
There. Right there. He couldn't hold it.
And you see the Quen vanish. A sight that you did not see during combat. You see his body slump imperceptibly because you were in the throes of swordsmanship, parrying and dodging and rolling. But you actually see some of his muscle deplete, as if he used a tremendous amount of reserves to counteract what you had attempted to do to him.
Yeah.
Do that.
Ezekon looks at you.
Beggar tick.
Yeah.
It helps with pain. But how do you make him hurt more?
The only answer that Dusa would have to that would be to pick up the sword at his feet and to let it catch flame.
And in the trance, you see a light. You don't see the sword, you just see a light. And Jeffers of Kreve fades away. The lake fades away, but the wind is still there. And Ezekon steps in front of you.
You must face him again, brother.
I'll do that if it's the last thing I do.
I'm sorry.
What are you sorry about?
That I left you alone.
You didn't leave me. They took you.
Will you do something for me?
Yes.
The wind picks up, and his graying hair bustles off of his shoulders.
Do this for me. My father. My brothers. My love. Win.
Wow. I guess Dusa will rejoin him in that sentiment by planting his sword in the ground and letting out a great shout of challenge, not unlike the shout he let out during that battle.
Three blocks away, walking with hood up through the dark of the night of Hangsforth, Jeffers of Kreve stops, looks up at the sound of the cry, splintered the night, so rare for civilization. And though he cannot help himself, he shivers. And that is where we will end this session of the Witcher Family of Wraiths. Bring in Hawk, who's been an unbelievable sport as we do all of this. All right, everybody. Let's go around and talk to everybody and see how they're doing. I'm not going to say a word. This group is absolutely fantastic. Let's start with Hawk. Hawk, you're going to be back next week, my friend. How are you? And,
you bet.
Where can we find you, bud?
I wouldn't miss not being back here next week for the world. I mean, I'm just sitting there. Okay, how do I follow that? How do I follow that? How do I follow that? How did I follow that? I mean, I'm like wanting to go like this while I'm watching all of these people in action on here. I'm very, very excited and humbled to be a part of something like this, and I'm very hopeful that Ananias has an impact on these characters as we go forward.
I am quite sure, my friend. Your link is in chat, but please tell us, where can we find you online?
Oh, you can find me online Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. on my channel here on Twitch, KY Hawkeye. I have our brick kicking session where we're going through the different Lego video games. We're still working our way through Marvel Superheroes 2. If you come watch the stream, you can enter a raffle, and if we select your name, we create your superhero based on however you want it to look, what superpowers you want, and all that. And then the following week, we play the adventures using your character. Tomorrow night, Thursday 6 p.m. U.S., adjust your time zones accordingly, is my weekly Skyrim serial, and tomorrow we're starting a brand new series. It's called The Fang and the Claw. And we're going to be doing the Dawnguard DLC, so it's vampires and Templars and Dunmer. Oh my! We'll be starting that next week, or starting that tomorrow night, and then Saturday night 7 p.m. is my WWE universe, where I've taken several people from here in the Twitch universe of the RPG world, and they have their own little wrestling universe that we call Grappler's Keep, where they all take on each other in a ring we lovingly call the Dice Tray. And currently, right now, we are having a women's tag team championship tournament and a women's singles tournament. So that's going on right now. And there are 3 members of the cast here, actually counting myself, 4, who are all members of Grappler's Keep. So we got Prax is there. She's involved in the singles tournament. We got Bill of the Forest, he's in there with our newest tag team, the Grimm Foundation, who won their inaugural tag team matchup against the Vice Lords last time around. And Greg and I have a ongoing rivalry in the tag team department where Scrat and I beat him and Donathan Fry for the tag team titles, but the Vice Lords defeated us, so we don't have the titles now either, but it's going to be interesting to see if the Grimm Foundation can put up enough of a challenge to take the belts and bring it back to the Tales from the Grimm stables. So otherwise, you'll find me around, Cancer Cleric by day, RPG Fanboy by night.
Thank you, my friend.
Are you ready to rumble?
Can you dig it? Absolutely. So,
can you smell what the Hawk is cooking?
Yeah, gotcha. All right, Hawk, thank you so much for hanging out, my friend. And as we cut over to Prax, my friend, how are you and where can we find you?
I'm okay. This is fun. This is a lot of interesting things that are going on, and everyone's talking about justice. Thrawn's gonna stab a bitch. Fuck all that. She left justice a while ago. She's still bleeding in places. But as for me, you can find me online at Deirdre Donovan on Twitter or Proxgoeth as me4 as you see me hanging out with Twitch chat. I have a new pinned tweet that will tell you everything about what I'm doing, but I want to plug one thing. tomorrow we're doing the premiere of Dragon Age over on Wandering DM, Dragon Age: The Search for Anders. It will be me, Simon, Kelly the Opera Geek, Yenio, DM Jazzy Hands, Andrew, who's a new to a streamer, and our wonderful friend Cypher of Tyr, Tanya, will be helping us all through this. I have made the most cliche of characters ever, and I cannot wait for you to meet them.
Fantastic, fantastic. Before we jump down to Bill, I would like to say congratulations to Sweet Juicebox for winning our Artausorian Games PDF of the core rulebook. It is fantastic. My friend, if you will, you can hit me up on Twitter or whisper to me here on Twitch. I just need a contact, an email, if you will, to send on to our wonderful friends at Artausorian Games so they can hook you up almost immediately. They're super fast with this fantastic PDF so you can join us on the continent and read all about this incredible system I love very, very much. From Prax to Bill. Bill, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online?
I need y'all to listen to something for a second. This episode, this evening, if you did not have an immense amount of faith in this medium before, you fucking do it now. I know you 20 to 30 people, 20 to 35 people in chat right now fucking get it. But for everybody watching on VOD, the fucking raw, unadulterated magic that came out of these individuals that was unplanned, none of it was planned, speaks to the medium as a whole. This is the fucking future of performance art. I am not fucking around. If you didn't feel anything from this episode, get your fucking mind checked. This was next level shit. Everybody was playing perfectly off each other. This cast was fucking dope. Legion fucking delivered. And Greg fucking top tier stuff. You may have not have like, oh, I just like facilitated. Dude, you fucking delivered. This was top tier shit. You will not find better shit than pardon me for being mildly arrogant, what you saw this evening from everybody. This was 5-star stuff. I cannot speak more about the people that I'm cast with in the show. This is just raw magic. So if you haven't invested energy, time, money into this medium yet, get off your fucking ass and do it. This is the future. And you're going to cast back to this episode. It's like, why didn't no one blow up so big? And it's like, I fucking told you so, motherfucker. This is the shit. This is magic. You can find me at Bill of the Force on Twitter. Oh man, I'll just soak it up. Man, I can't. I'm done.
If I haven't said it enough, brother, I love you. And let us drop down to Trooper. Trooper, my friend, how are you? And where can we find you online?
I just want to say, for the record, because we're talking about justice, that since you have a noble in the party, the noble can say that justice, consists of Varan stabbing him a whole bunch, and then that counts as justice because you have a noble. It works out. So, I'm really excited for some stabbing justice from a whole bunch of people all onto Jeffers. I'm into it. I'm into that. That is good. Good. And I'm excited for all of the stabbing of Jeffers that will happen from a bunch of different directions, all Ides of March style. I'm looking forward to it. I'm Trooper SJP, and you can find me at Trooper SJP on Twitch. And if you want, you can come and find me on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, where I am GMing City of Light and Shadow, a French Resistance historical RPG with double crits as a really cool character named Jules, who is an ex-soldier and driver. And, they're getting in some trouble, so it'll be fine. And probably they'll get into more trouble. But that's me, and I just want to say, I want to thank all of the Legion for being here in chat and helping us out, but being present. And if you retweet and share all of that, because I love everybody that I'm playing with so desperately. They don't even know it. Like, my heart is just like full of so much joy that I get to play with people who are so committed, and like, I can't do what I do unless I know that they're there for me and they're there for me. And so I it is such a joy and a pleasure and an honor, and I feel so lucky. But also, I don't know if any of us could do this without you all being here, supporting us, and like, I can do this because I know that you are there watching, and that, you know, it is meaningful, right? That the art that we're doing is not being done in a vacuum, that there are people who are here and who are witnessing it. So thank you for being the witnesses to this. So thank you.
Well said, my friend. Well said. As we hop across the screen to Josh. Josh, my friend, how are you? And where can we find you online?
Hey, yeah. It's hard to sort of not sound like a broken record here and just repeat what everyone else has said so far. But it has been amazing chatting to these guys, just in character, out of character. It's a lot of fun. We are a chaotic bunch. Both in-game and out of game. Like, our Twitter messages are like, Greg the other day like logged into Twitter and was just like he just posted "fuck" reads above, like, and it was a good, like, it's taken us about 2 hours to like break the entire chat stream and just go on about like conspiracy theories and other things going on. But at the same time, like, everyone brings such fresh, amazing things to their characters. And again, like, I've said this before, like, when Greg gave me some stuff for my flashback, and I was living through some stuff, I remember thinking, like, God damn, I feel very main character, and I feel like I'm getting a lot of favoritism. And then y'all all have such interesting backstory shit as well, and I don't know how Greg does it. I really don't. So the most amazing praise to one of my favorite DMs of all time, one of the greatest, now and forever. As for me, you can find me online at roleplayers_TV, where I will be doing some things on Monday over on Roleplayers channel. We have the return of Age of Arcana, where I play Alexander Maxwell Clark III, who is going to be he's just a mess of a wizard. He is very against violence. I've made it to 9th level, and I just took like my 3rd offensive spell, because other than that, I'm just like, I've got Chromatic Orb if push comes to shove, and I've got a lot of stuff that are like non-violent. So that was me. And also, you can find me here on Wednesdays, and not a plug for myself, but please check out the amazing Veiled Alliance over on LFM Network, which you can see on Tuesdays, DM by friend of the channel, an amazing DM as well, Jonathan Fry, where he will be taking people into D&D 5th edition homemade Dark Sun goodness. It is so much fun. It is going to be an absolute blast, and I'm very excited. Oh shit, and on Friday the 13th, I am playing in a horror game, DM by Don, set in the real world, in a Stephen King anthology setting of his own creation, and so much shit happened last episode. If you're not caught up, I just tell you right now, like, if you do spoilers, plug your ears for 2 seconds. But currently, my character is crying in an attic, drunk with a shotgun at 16, leveled at the trapdoor leading into the attic, because things are going on that are scary, and we just had a death. So next episode, there's going to be funerals and wakes, and it's Friday the 13th. What could go wrong?
Oh, you're super fucked, my friend. Anywho, let's go up to JF. JF, my friend, how are you, and where can we find you online?
I'm great. I love this so much. Like Wim said, this crew kills the role play. The grim, the tales from the grim, everything I've seen, and that's why I am here. This particular session was so unpredictable for me. I did not know what to expect. So good job on that. which kind of for I guess cornered me into being spontaneous and getting that scene in. I didn't know where or how that was going to happen. I knew it's something that Dusa wanted to do, and I'm happy it happened now. I think the timing was right, with him and how he felt. I think everybody did an amazing job tonight. I loved all these scenes. I wish we could do it more often, but I know that we got to balance it with actual combat. So I'm really happy we got to do it tonight. And you can see me on City of Lights, double crits. I'll be there on Friday with the Cher Foxhole.
And not getting in trouble.
No. Yeah, we're getting in trouble. Yes. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
Fantastic, my friend. Fantastic. Everybody, I say it every week. I mean it every week. Follow all of these fantastic folks online. Make sure that you can love RPs. You can love board games, nerdy stuff. But what you should be a fan of, and I'm telling you what you should be a fan of, kindness. It's awesome. All of these people that you see, I personally vouch for. They are all kind. You need kindness. The world is, look, I'm not going to be it's dim. It's not dark, but kindness always makes the world go faster. And when you can play with people like this, watch people like this, befriend people like this, follow people like this, bring kindness into your life, believe me, it's what I did a couple years ago. Made me feel great. Anyway, my name is Grimjack21502 on the Twitter. Tales from the Grim here on the Twitch. Be back here next week as we dive into some more intrigue. We have guests aplenty that are queuing up. This story is being told in ways that I never expected. By the way, make sure you check out Wandering DM, as Wandering DM we are sister shows here, same world of the continent, same Witcher universe. So what happens there affects here. What happens here affects there in a few ways. And so please make sure you follow Simon over there on Wandering DM Tuesday nights. So go check them out over there. They're doing great stuff.
I'll be guesting on next Tuesday.
Is that, could that be worth more? I don't think. Yes, Dusa will be over there next Tuesday night. So,
and if you missed the VOD from last night, it's up on YouTube, on Simon's YouTube already. And I think you saw a lot nicer Veron last night.
Oh yeah,
a less pain-ridden Veron, let's put it that way.
Yes, fantastic. So everybody, as we are getting ready to say goodbye here, I will just simply say this: that flashback sequence in the trance to glean information from Ezekon of Kreve, I would like everybody to remember 3 rolls were asked, 3 crits were rolled. The information given will come back in a big way in the future. So that is with everybody's help here to tell the tale, the Legion, all of these fantastic players. Like I said, just follow them and be back here next Wednesday as we continue this fantastic story. And as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s unless you're Dusa, but you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.